Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. You're gonna hear that twice today, because for the first time ever, we're double dipping. We're doing 2 GMMs in one day because there's so much to talk about. So much is happening, and I'm pumped. I'm ready to work and ready to bring you the good, the bad, the crazy, the wild, the exciting, and we're kicking it off with an episode talking about Nintendo Switch. They say it could last till 2026, and we've got to discuss because that's insane. Plus, they're giving hints about their next console and whether or not it's going to be backwards compatible. This is a hot button issue. Also, Ubisoft has a new Switch game, and I promise you, you can't possibly guess it. Lastly, Metroid Dread did it. Pokémon Legends Arceus is right up there with Animal Crossing. The Switch is setting records and it's just insane. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. I'm so happy to have you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're pumped about the coming weekend, and I hope you're ready to hit that like button if you enjoy the show, and let me know your take on today's topics in the comments down below, because this day is massive. There's 2 GMMs. And if the Switch is thinking of sticking around until 2026, you might want to grab another controller along the way. My friends at PDP make a fantastic one with the Face-Off Deluxe Plus audio. This controller is really sick because you can swap out the faceplates. You're done with Link for the day, pop them off and put on the OLED model. There you go, looking all nice and fancy to match your new system. This guy right here can be yours for $25 if you use my coupon code in the description down below. Make sure to click the link. Every time you do it helps support the channel. And I'm telling you, they make really quality products. Their controllers and their cases both get the SwitchForce seal of approval, so check them out. Let's start with something kind of wild and fun. Ubisoft is back at it. All right, they've been big supporters of the Switch, but I feel like they've been kind of quiet as of late. No longer. They just announced a brand new game coming to Switch on March 24th, and it's called Oddballers. All right, this is a dodgeball game from Ubisoft and the team at GameSwing. Now, this is a 4-player local, 6-player online fun fest full of mini games and different arenas where you can throw anything. They're talking about throwing balls, they're talking about throwing chickens, they're talking about throwing cacti. That would really sting. And my hands, they already don't do well in winter. Honestly, the game looks like it could be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that they nail the controls, and it's just like one of those fast, fun multiplayer games. If you're an OG SwitchForcer, maybe you remember my obsession with Astro Bears Party, and I kind of hope that Oddballers is like the new Astro Bears Party of 2022. We'll take a look. We'll see. March 24th, Ubisoft. It may not be Mario plus Rabbids yet, but they are bringing something to Switch. Let me know what you think. I think that Samus done did it. Metroid Dread sales numbers are here. And drumroll please, Editor Gabe. She did it. Metroid Dread is going to be the best-selling game in the entire series by a long shot, because between its launch on October 8th and December 31st, it already sold 2.74 million copies, which puts it ahead of the original Metroid on NES and puts it just 100,000 units shy of the best-selling Metroid of all time, Metroid Prime. It's probably already past that. In fact, it definitely has, already here in February of 2022, and the game will continue to sell. Now, I know this is no Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which has now reached 43 million units, and it's no Animal Crossing New Horizons, which has now reached 37 million units, but 2.74 in just a few months is fantastic for Samus and her bounty hunting booty. I'm very hopeful and excited to see where this catapults the Metroid franchise for Nintendo. We know that Metroid Prime 4 is out there somewhere. We hope that they have a Metroid Prime 1 remaster in the wings this year. And could they continue the Dread 2D style series as well? I mean, with sales numbers like that and probably decently low development costs, I think it's a possibility, and I'm just proud of this series for coming back so strong after a long time away and doing work. What a game. If you've missed it so far, maybe now's the time. Maybe today you go get Metroid Dread. You will not regret it. And man, Nintendo does not regret putting out Pokémon like clockwork. All right, they did the remakes of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They gave it to a second squad, and they sold 13.97 million units in just a couple months. Holy crap. Okay, this is the highest opening ever for a Pokémon remake. It puts it the 9th best-selling first-party title on Switch already. It's like on the top 10. Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, number 9. Brilliant Diamond, and Shining Pearl. It nearly passed Sun and Moon, which were original games, and it's well on its way to beating Let's Go. I think that's insane. The popularity of Pokemon is just unstoppable. It's just unbeatable, and it makes sense that Nintendo will probably be dropping 2 Pokemon games a year for every year on Switch. It's insane. This series sells like crazy, and even remakes done by a second studio with a debatable art style, boom, they're still popping off 14 million units in just a few months. All right, now let's talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus, because we do have the first sales data for that darn game, and it is awesome. Now, Nintendo themselves in this financial call said they weren't sure how well it would do, considering it's just one game instead of the usual like dual SKU where they've got like, you know, red and blue. It's just Legends Arceus. But in just 3 days, Legends Arceus sold over 1.4 million copies just in Japan, which puts it at the second hottest, fastest Switch launch of any game in Japan, only second to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, ACNH popped off 1.8 million game sales in its first 3 days. Pokemon Legends Arceus, that's crazy. This is gonna go on to be a huge seller, and before we know it, the top 10 for Switch might just be like Mario Kart, AC, Pokemon, 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 Pokemon. Like, we're really possibly going to have a future like that, because these games sell so well and Nintendo ain't stopping making them. I mean, just imagine when Gen 9 comes out, and just imagine when the next Pokemon Legends comes out. More Switch users, more players, more sales, more Pokemon. Now, I'm proud of the kids, all the different games, but the parents, they did good work as well. Nintendo Switch officially surpassed 100 million units and now sits at 103.54 million units sold, becoming the fastest console in the history of our planet to reach 100 milli units. That is worth a golf clap. Everybody, let's go. Golf clap for Nintendo. They're crushing it. And it surpassed the Wii at 101.6 million units. It surpassed the PS1 at 102.49 million units. And it surpassed just about everything in terms of its speed and its trajectory. Because when you line up the launch dates of the Wii, the PS2, the PS4, and the Switch is winning. How far can this system go? I mean, literally everything it does so darn well. There's other highlights here, like Luigi's Mansion 3 reaching over 11 million units. The super recent release Mario Party Superstars did 5.5 million units in just a few months. The OG Super Mario Party, my goodness, it's at 17 milli. Bowser's Fury is at 8.8 million. And heck, even Skyward Sword HD is closing in on 4 million copies sold. This is brilliant. This is beautiful. I'm so glad that the Switch is so successful. The numbers are just unfathomably great, and we are here for the long haul. And so now you begin to see why Nintendo and President Furukawa say that the system is still in the middle of its life cycle. This, more than even the numbers, blew me away today, and that's what we're gonna dive into right now. My guy Shintaro Furukawa, he is the head honcho. He's the big boss, and he has made the Switch even better than I think anyone could have imagined. So when he said today that the Switch is just in the middle of its life cycle and the momentum going into this year is good, the Switch is ready to break a pattern of our past consoles that saw momentum weakening in their 6th year on the market and grow further, my ears perked up, and I said, Furukawa, what are you saying? The Switch has been out since 2017, and if it's at the midway point of its life cycle, that means 2026 is what Nintendo thinks the Switch could last until, which is unheard of right now. Considering the underpowered hardware within the Switch console, the fact that they believe this thing could last for another 5 years is downright crazy. Okay, there was a lot of heavy rumors and a whole lot of hoopla that a 4K Switch Pro was gonna come out last summer. It did not happen, and now we're wondering if a 4K Switch Pro is ever going to debut, and instead Nintendo shifts its focus to the Switch 2, or whatever they call its successor. But now, based on these sales, based on how well things are doing, well into year 5, the fact that they think they can avoid the 6-year slump that hurt the Wii, and they have possibly their best lineup of games they've ever had, and no sign of slowing down with huge tentpole titles still waiting for them to just sell millions. I mean, Mario Kart 9, Metroid Prime 4, another Smash Bros, they could do it all, and they really could keep this system going. But I wonder if 2026 is just going too far. How would you feel if you were still playing your trusty old Switch for a decade? 2026 would mark 10 years of Nintendo Switch, and like, hey, that's really good value. But I can only imagine what video games on PlayStation and Xbox and PC will look like in 4 or 5 more years. I mean, Dying Light 2 looks downright gorgeous on PC, and Horizon Forbidden West is going to be drool-inducing. I'm not saying that Nintendo doesn't have cool art styles, but there definitely is a difference between the look of Pokemon Legends Arceus and God of War Ragnarok. Now then, close your eyes and imagine Switch games versus these other console games in 2026, and I just don't know if it's feasible. And so then I think, what could Furukawa be planning here? And it makes me kind of get back maybe on board the train of another Switch iteration. Perhaps Furukawa is indicating that yes, Nintendo is going to stick within the Switch ecosystem, and rather than develop something totally brand new, they're just going to continue to make half steps. They went to the OLED, and then they'll go to the 4K, and then who knows where they go from here. They'll view it more as an iPhone, more as half steps, and more as a way to keep this console together, keep this huge install base of 103.5 million players together, and work to build those numbers to unprecedented heights. Now, in that way, I mean, it's sort of the same as a new console, right? And maybe Furukawa gave another hint at this when discussing that next console. Now, this comes from industry analyst David Gibson, and he's translating from the Japanese investor call. So it's a bit hard to get the exact wording, but he's indicating this is what was said. The question was asked, how do you think about the 98 million Switch users, because they think there's like 130 million consoles, but like 98 million players, some people have two, versus the next console? And Furukawa said, into the 6th year of Switch, we are maintaining momentum, we are looking to expand and grow, leading into the next gen device, and it sounds like the next device will be backwards compatible. Now that is really great news, because there's been a lot of issues with backwards compatibility across the board. Now, of course, the PlayStation 5 plays PS4 games, and the Xbox Series X plays Xbox games, but Nintendo, they have been dicey at times. I mean, they go straight up from discs to cartridges. It's not even possible to put that media in the system if you tried and squeezed it. So I hope they are able to stay consistent. But I wonder if this consistency indicates that it will be basically an upgraded model of the same system. Cartridges do have limiting factors, and I do think that eventually Nintendo will want to step beyond the Switch form factor. But what do you think about a world where Nintendo doesn't do a Switch 2 and just does a Switch 4K Pro? Could we get back on board that train of thought that the next console is just the next iteration of Switch? And if you ask me, I look at this picture of how well it's doing, how crazy the games are, everything is evergreen. Why would Nintendo abandon it? Why would they go away from something that's working so well when they could just introduce new ways that would help support developers, make better games, and allow players to upgrade or expand their Switch collection, and new players could come in with something feeling fresh? Nobody probably wants to buy a brand new Switch 10 years after it came out, but maybe you'd buy a 4K Switch if that thing just hit the market and was exciting and new. Nintendo has somehow worked their magic where to a lot of people, they're the most exciting console despite being way behind in terms of technology. And that is impressive. And it's because of the games we just listed. Everything is fun to play. Everything has a lot of appeal. Everything is tapping into what the fans want, and they're evolving their series, their long-standing franchise, to make them the best they've ever been. I don't know if any other system ever has done such work for all the franchises, made them just the best, the paramount examples of what a Zelda game can be, a Mario game can be, a Metroid game can be. And while I still find it crazy to think that the Switch could still be kicking in 2026, I mean, they can do it. I kind of would love a brand new thing, but at the same time, this is our Switch. Let's keep it rolling. Give us the 4K eventually, please. We'd like to see what that does for Mario and Cappy. We'd love to see how Link battles Ganon looking all swanky and sexy, but maybe we just roll with this. And maybe it's backwards compatible because it's the same thing. It's the same system, just upgraded. Please let me know what you think about this. Could you see yourself playing your Switch till 2026? Would you be in need of an upgrade? Would you want to upgrade, or would you be happy to have spent $300 and get to play it for a full freaking decade? Let me know. Whew, need a little tea. I'm excited today. This is a good day. This is a fun day. And this is only GMM 1. But GMM 1 wraps with our very important poll. Last night I asked a dire question. I had you think and ponder and put down. Make sure to turn on your notifications so you can be a part of our conversations every weekday evening on the community tab. Do you sleep with the bedroom door open or closed? This is personal. We're getting to know each other here. We're really going back and forth. And 75% said you're keeping the ghosts and spirits out. Now I keep my door closed because my family currently lives with me, and our family dog is very much a lover. He wants to lay all over the house and he likes to transfer beds in the middle of the night, so I say, no thank you, please just stay in one spot and don't come lick me or sigh or roll over or ask for belly rubs at 3:33 in the morning. But honestly, if it wasn't for that, I'd be okay with sleeping with the door open, as 25% of you are. And I'd love to know, like, is the main reason you don't want to see the house? I know a lot of people like don't want to see into the spooky beyond in the dark, and maybe they saw something, maybe they heard something, or they feel more protected if they're in an enclosed space. I imagine that's what it is. Or maybe you just want to keep the sound out, the light out, or maybe you just like being cozy. But thank you for revealing your innermost thoughts about how you sleep in your bedroom door. Now, while this door closes, another one's about to open. So come back for the second episode today. I love you all so much. I appreciate your support. Thank you for helping me do what I love to do and do it for you. I really do. So make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there, everybody. I love you so much, my friends and family, Nintendo everything, and we are here for it all. Until then though, thanks again. SwitchForce out.